What's up, everybody? Double J here with Black Rabbit Service, and today I've got a big one for you. I'm going to show you how to program the Fetco 62H series brewers. Okay, we got the brewer in the lab. It's hooked up to water, it's connected to power, she's heating up. I got my Fetco hat on. I think we're ready to go. Let's talk a little bit about some of the tools you're gonna need to program your recipes. First thing you're gonna need is a graduated cylinder. So I have a bucket with a max of 12 quarts here. You can use the TPD 3.0 shuttles that these come with, but for today I'm gonna use this so I can get as accurate of a measurement as possible. The next thing you're gonna need is a little 1/4-inch ratchet, and that is to remove all the screws from the top panel here, and that will allow you access to the timer board and the thermostat, which you will see shortly. You'll also need a small flathead screwdriver. I would recommend getting a multi-bit one. They're really convenient to have around for lots of things, but this is going to be completely necessary in order to set your time on the brewer. I also recommend having a level. So once you get this thing on your counter, it is critical that you make sure the brewer is nice and level, and that way it will function properly. There's level probes in there, and if it's off kilter, you'll have issues with it filling and dispensing properly. Last but not least is you're gonna need a really good stepladder, because this thing is huge. You're working up high, you don't want to be working above your head where you can't see anything. Get yourself a stepladder. Critical to program this thing. Okay, while the brewer is still heating, I'm going to go ahead and hop on my stepladder, grab my ratchet, and remove the screws from the top panel. That will give us access to our thermostat, our timer boards, and our bypass valves. Now there is still power going to the brewer, and if you're uncomfortable, you can go ahead and turn the brewer off, remove the panels, and then once the panel's off, you need to turn the brewer back on in order to adjust the thermostat and timer boards. The thermostat is mounted on the left-hand side of the brewer when facing it. You'll recognize the thermostat right away because it's the only board with a digital display. Now next to that display is a small black dial, and that's where you're going to use your flathead screwdriver to make any adjustments. The display is really simple, so it'll basically show you two numbers and 1 or 2 dots. Each dot represents 100 degrees, and then the number that you see would be the final numbers in the temperature reading. For example, if you saw 2 dots and 03, you would have 203 degree Fahrenheit water in your boiler. Okay, now that we've adjusted the thermostat, let's go ahead and adjust the brew time. In order to do that, you'll need to locate the 2 timer boards in the brewer. There's one for either side, and grab your small flathead screwdriver once again to make your adjustments. Here's our timer board. You'll notice that there are 6 dials, 3 for the large and full pot, and 3 for the small/half pot. So each dial represents a set of numbers. So the first dial on the large pot represents hundreds of seconds, the second is tens of seconds, and the last one is single seconds. To adjust the brew time, all you need to do is turn the dials up or down to adjust the total pot volume. Don't forget that each side of the brewer has its own timer board, so you'll need to adjust those accordingly. So this brewer makes 3 gallons per side at a time. With that size of a pot, you generally want to have a little bit of bypass. So we're going to go ahead and open up these bypass valves just a little bit so there's a very slow but steady stream of water that's going around the coffee bed and blending with the coffee in the pot. We set the thermostat, we opened up the bypass valves, we went ahead and left our 320 seconds for a large pot, and we're gonna give it a test run and see where we get. In order to start the brew process, you just pull down on the handle and away you go. Okay, well, we can see that we are almost there. We're just maybe a pinky's width away from hitting our 12 quart or 3 gallon mark. So we're gonna make just a couple small minor adjustments on probably the single second side of the dials and get that right to that 3 gallon mark, and we should be good to go. Now that you know how to set the temperature, adjust the bypass and brew time, you're ready to brew with the Fetco 62H series brewers.